Three of the most decorated champions in the sport's history have just 6 rounds to decide the 2011 championship. As the season begins its second half, nothing is settled. Gate drop from the Spring Creek Motocross is up next.
The second half of the 2011 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is about to get underway from Millville, Minnesota with the Spring Creek Motocross National. Hello everyone, Jason Wygant and Jeff Emig, a 4-time AMA National Champion, on hand here in Minnesota for round 7 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. A fantastic first half of the series is already in the books, and we look forward to more great racing in the second half. Let's give you the big picture storylines we're following today. It's the second half. Can anyone respond to the challenge that the top 3 riders in this series have put forth? We're looking at riders like Kevin Windham, Andrew Short, Tommy Hahn. Can they even get a podium finish, let alone a win, through these final 6 rounds of the year? Ryan Dungey is your hometown favorite today. He is from Minnesota. He has won this race the last 3 years in a row. He's gunning for a 4-peat this afternoon. And we might have someone in there to break up that big 3. It's Trey Kennard, last year's 250 class champion, who makes his debut on a big bike today, returning to action after a broken leg suffered in Supercross. So let's talk a little bit about racing here at Spring Creek, Jeff. This is a race that a lot of the riders circle on their calendar as one of their favorites. It is a brilliant racetrack to ride on.
It is, and we had quite a bit of rain leading into this event. Rain stopped earlier today. Qualifying practice was good. Now the sun is out, the humidity is up. These second motos are going to be really tough here today, but the track is shaped up brilliantly. The soil here is amazing. There's a lot of uphills and downhills, big jumps. Of course, the sand whoops that these riders are going to have to battle. They're going to have to dig deep. Like you said, this is the start of the second half. This is the championship push, and so I can't wait to see how this turns out here today.
All right, let's give you the 4-1-1 on how motocross works. The key is that we race not 1 but 2 races, and then we total up the scores from both to determine an overall winner. And each race lasts 30 minutes plus 2 laps. We've already completed Moto 1. We'll show you Moto 2 in a moment. Now that's the format. Let's show you the track. We've got a GoPro onboard lap, and Jeff, we're headed to the most infamous section of this Spring Creek facility.
Yeah, this is earlier today in qualifying practice as Nick Way, Valley Motorsports, Rockstar Yamaha, tries to navigate his way through, and there was so much moisture. You can see on the left side of the track there, Spring Creek over there, that these were really sloppy and really messy, and the bikes were twitchy. It was back and forth, not a real defined line through there. I do believe here in this second moto that section's going to speed up. It's going to be a little more like usual, and those guys are going to be flying through there.
Let's take a look at the track map brought to you by Kawasaki and the 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Let's hit it, Jeff.
Through the first turn, Nick Way, who was our GoPro, he was down in the first turn. Come through the sand whoops, the line to the left on the first set. Line's going to be on your right through the second set. You've got to get on top and skim those. Look for some good lines through here. Down the hill, back up the hill, a massive double. A couple of downhills again, huge braking bumps, tight rutted sections. You got to be clean through there with your technique. Up another hill, down through the Lucas Oil finish line. That's a lap at Millville.
Now, we mentioned our first moto is already complete, so let's show you the highlights of the first 30-minute and 2-lap race out here. Big crash. Watch the right side of your screen. Nick Way on the blue Valley Motorsports Rockstar Yamaha ends up on the ground. A whole bunch of other riders were down just a few feet off to the left. Here's your battle out front. Chad Reed of the 22, and right behind him, Ryan Dungey.
Chad Reed was out front leading, but watch on the outside here as Brett Metcalf tries to take a new line. It was still too wet and too soft as he plowed his Suzuki into that outside berm, lost some spots.
Dungey ready to go for the lead and challenge Reed, but watch this.
Gets the front wheel high, brings it back down, stuffs it in the sand, somehow keeps his Suzuki on 2 wheels as opposed to his teammate Metcalf.
Meanwhile, Ryan Villopoto is struggling, trying to work his way through traffic. Here he's going to get Trey Kennard, who fell off the pace just a tad in his first race back. Trouble for the number 12, Tommy Hahn, in the pits. He'll be back for this second moto. Chad Reed holds off the challenge from Dungey, wins the first moto here at Millville. That'll set the scene for moto number 2. Reed, your series points leader, extending it by just a bit. But as you can see, the boys chasing him for the championship, finish right behind him. Here's your results. Reed on top, Dungey finishes second. Villopoto was able to make his way into third in front of Alessi and Kennard. Metcalf, Short, Weimer, Ty Simmons, and Jimmy Albertson round out the top 10. Let's send it down to the start, Aaron Bates.
13 motos in the books, and Chad Reed has won 7 of those. Chad, what is your approach? You won that first moto here today. What is the approach as you head into the second round?
Same approach as the first one, you know, try to get this whole shot and take advantage of that, and in a tough racetrack that's tough to pass on. So it's hot, it's humid, and I feel like I'm at home in Florida. So, you know, I go try to have some fun and win another moto.
Everybody's sweating, including myself. We've got Ryan Dungey, who made a couple of changes in between motos. But Ryan, that back tire, you guys were running the most aggressive sand tire that you could possibly pass. It's almost like a paddle tire, but legal. What is it going to make a difference for the second moto?
Yeah, that was just a little bit more aggressive. It was really muddy that time. It just felt really comfortable. But ended up making it going back to our regular tire. Track looks like it's drying out, looking good, and get off to a good start and see what I think the track's going to be pretty good this go around.
Best of luck. These guys definitely have their challenges ahead of them. And Ryan Villopoto getting ready. Ryan, frustrated during that first moto. You went back and you requested some changes to be made on your bike. What exactly are you looking for out of the second moto?
Good start and solid, just a solid moto. Get up front and let's race with these guys. You know, I started back in the pack a little bit and I just had to work my way forward, and with the track being so one line, it was hard to pass and they got away. So try to put myself in a better position this moto.
All right, that's our progressive pre-race report, which means we are ready to go racing. We'll have 450 Moto 2 in just a moment. On the last lap of the first 450 Moto from Redbud, Michigan privateer Josh Lichtel suffered a seizure on the track. He was quickly taken to a nearby hospital where he passed away 36 hours later. Josh was living out a childhood dream, racing with the world's best at a track he loved. Today, we remember Josh Lichtel. He was 23 years old. We're back, ready for Moto number 2 here at Millville. Let's give you the keys to the race on one of the newcomers to the series. Jeff, that is Fredrik Noren out of Sweden. What does he need to do? This, of course, brought to you by RockyMountainATVMC.com.
Well, this is his first trip here to Millville, and he's going to learn that those sand whoops, you need to get on top here this moto. Of course, they ride a lot of sand back where he's from, so it may be a place where his strengths show. He needs to race for the top 10. He was 14th in the first moto, was actually up a couple of positions higher than that, and look for him to have a good, strong ride here in the second moto.
All right, so that's one of 40 riders in this moto. Chad Reed took the first moto win. Ryan Dungey was right behind him. Dungey won the 250 class here, 2008, 2009, and won in this 450 class at this track last year. It's his home track, got a lot of people supporting him. Can Dungey make it happen in this second moto, Jeff?
He certainly can, and he needs to use the crowd, all the support that he has. I don't think we spoke to one member out there in the crowd of the fans that wasn't cheering for Ryan Dungey here today.
There was no reason to even ask who people were pulling for today. It was Ryan Dungey across the board. And speaking of the board, it is sideways, which means it's time to focus down on the starting gate and go racing from Spring Creek. This time, Villopoto has the good start. He's out front on the number 2 with Reed, Weimer, and I believe Dungey right there. So once again, all the favorites up front, Jeff.
Trey Kennard right there inside the top 5. I think he sneaked around to the inside, but this is exactly what number 2, Ryan Villopoto, needed to do to gain some momentum and get some positive stuff happening. Now look, Jason, they've smoothed out the sand whoops to entry, but it's Chad Reed on the inside.
Reed going after him. Let's see who beats who to this hard left-hand corner as the whole field tries to negotiate one of the toughest sections in all of motocross. And Reed handles it best. He's looking to make a move. Villopoto's going to fight back around the outside, but Chad Reed takes the number 1 spot.
Boy, is Chad Reed rested and recovered after that vacation and a weekend off. He is fired up here in the number 22.
Oh! Reed launches! We got trouble! Chad Reed is down and down hard! Unbelievable for your series points leader. It has been a long time since we have seen Chad Reed have a crash of that magnitude. And Villopoto, Dungey, Kennard, they just saw it firsthand. That's got to shake them up as well to see someone of Reed's stature crash that big.
So Villopoto out front, that puts, he's got a couple seconds already over Dungey. As you can see, And Trey Kennard, I spoke to him in between motos. Just as I suspected, the race pace kind of caught him off guard a little bit. Even though he was the fastest qualifier in practice, he's been practicing and training at home. The speed of the race and the intensity was too much.
Are you kidding me? Chad Reed is back on the motorcycle?
Wow.
How can this be? That bike has got to be bent. How is he not hurt? He must have been 20, 30 feet up in the air, Jeff.
See his team manager, Dave Osman, there. They were taking a look at it. It looks like the silencer, looked like the bars, everything was pretty clean.
Listen to the crowd going crazy.
Watch the replay. He hits a kicker, a square edge. You remember in the first moto, he did that also. And watch, he loses traction. And look at Chad, hits the downside. Fortunately,
that is unbelievable.
That is your highlight of the year. Let's just go ahead and just.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure.
He is back racing, and he might have a shot. He's not that far back yet. He's not a lap down. He might have a shot to maybe even score some points in this moto if the bike can hold up.
Well, that's exactly what he's going to need to do, is now it's time to charge. Okay, he's been so consistent. He hasn't been outside of the top 3 or the top 5 all season in any moto.
Yep.
So now Chad Reed finally has this moto where he's really going to be challenged. That's a scary one, but it's time to put that out of your mind and get back after it. I'm telling you, I've been in that situation before, Jason, where you're that high in the air looking down and
You see him working out the arm and shoulder. We hope he's okay. I mean, it's certainly adrenaline's carrying him right now. Will Reed go past the mechanics area? Will he stop for... No, he's not stopping. He's going. Unbelievable. Watch this. Chad Reed back up and in this race. Welcome back. Ryan Villopoto leads early in what has already been a dramatic second moto of your 450 class of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship from Minnesota. Wednesday night, the car show with Adam Carolla is all new. AC/DC's Brian Johnson races a Lamborghini through New York City. The boys give driving lessons to some beautiful students. Don't miss the car show Wednesday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Speed. Yes, they're going to teach some ladies how to drive a stick in a Dodge Viper.
Yeah, but I'm concerned about the Lamborghini. Are we going to see that thing stuck in traffic, or are we going to actually see him flying through the streets of Manhattan?
Unless it's 4 in the morning, I don't think there's any chance of flying through. Ryan Villopoto is flying through here at Millville, but not without some serious drama already unfolding. Here's Ryan Dungey in second. Now, before we went to break, Chad Reed was late in this race and had a huge crash. He's back up and racing in the 34th position. There's Trey Kennard. I'm wondering, Jeff, for these 3 riders that saw that crash right in front of them, they don't know if Reed's up and okay. Are they a little bit freaked out over that? I mean, Chad Reed is the last guy you usually see have something like that happen.
Yeah, when you watch the replay, focus on Villopoto, and he was looking back the whole time to see where Reed was as it was happening. Totally in amazement.
Great racing here. You got 32 of Weimer, the 24 Metcalf, and the 10 of Justin Brayton. And Brayton on the Muscle Milk Toyota Yamaha considers this the home race. He's from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and it's about 3 hours from here, so we saw a lot of Brayton shirts in the crowd. Yes, pretty much everyone's cheering for Ryan Dungey today, but there's a few Brayton folks out there as well.
Yeah, and I spoke to Brayton in between motos too, in between the motos also, and I said, wow, that first turn, you almost went down with Nick Way. He says, did you see me crash in the sand whoops? That's what you needed to see. So, first moto, he was a little bit off the pace from where he wanted to be, but now back inside the top 10 here, putting in a solid ride.
Now we got one of these classic motocross scenarios here. Jake Weimer and Brett Metcalf seem to find each other more often than not. It doesn't matter if it's a battle for 5th like it is right now. Sometimes it's a battle for 8th or 9th or 6th or 7th, but they always seem to hook up. I talked to Mehdi about that after our last race at Redbud. He said, yeah, and he's run into Davey Millsaps a bunch of times this year too. Millsaps skipping this race with a knee injury. But here we go again. Weimer versus Mehdi. This time
look at Metcalf running all over the place trying to find some different lines. Wow, look at the momentum here.
And Metcalf able to get around Weimer and take over 5th. Now, also, you remember last week, Metcalf was riding the second moto with a cooling vest on. And for a little more on that, let's go to Aaron Bates.
That's right, you guys. Metcalf, he allowed me to borrow his ice vest, and I kind of want to wear it all day with how hot and humid it is. But this is what a lot of these guys wear. They ride it up They wear it all the way up until the gate drops, basically. They give it to their mechanic to take back and put it back into the freezer, and this whole thing is water and ice. So it keeps their core temperature down, prepares them to go out, and especially helps for moto number 2 of the day. But we thank Metcalf for allowing me to borrow this.
Well, I don't think she's going to take it off.
No, we'll see that
use it the whole rest of the day.
Well, the good news for Aaron then is that today Metcalf actually remembered to take the vest off. He did not intend to race with it in the second moto last week. He said about halfway through the moto, he didn't understand why he was sweating so badly. And then at the end of the race, he said, I cannot believe I forgot to take the vest off.
So
he forgot to take
so
it off.
It kept him cool in the beginning, and then it melted, and then it kept him from...
Well, the situation is it actually works 2 ways. You can put it in the microwave and heat it up. So once that thing gets hot, it's designed to keep the heat inside. So good luck with that, Aaron, in about 10 minutes. We'll see what happens. Tommy Hahn here in the 12. He had a rough go of it in Moto 1. He is back here for Moto 2. He's in 8th, battling it out behind Brayton and Weimer.
Yeah, there in Moto number 1, Tommy went down pretty hard. He said he was just going down the straightaway. Front wheel twitched on him, threw him down pretty hard. He was really frustrated, but he's had a couple of races like that this year where he's took some pretty hard falls, but I tell you, he just keeps rebounding.
Yep.
He keeps getting up. I am so impressed with his determination. His speed this year has been exceptional too. Just needs to limit those mistakes and those big falls, because you just never know when that was going to take you out of the series. You know?
Well, I made a mistake. I thought they were behind Brayton. In fact, Hahn has gotten around Brayton, so they are in front of him. That's Weimer 6th. The 12 of Hahn 7th, Brayton 8th. Then you got Andrew Short and Kevin Windham rounding out the top 10. Been a tough summer for both these guys. I think Hahn probably wanted more, and Weimer certainly as well in his debut on a 450 for the factory Kawasaki outfit.
Yeah, and these guys, the last time around, Weimer was a 212 and Brayton was a 213, dropping off the pace a little bit, especially considering Villopoto is out front. The top 2, Villopoto and Dungey, are at a 203 and a 204. The fastest time previous was a 209. That's where Kennard, Alessi, Metcalf are running. So Villopoto and Dungey have stepped it up 5 seconds, 6 seconds a lap. Pretty impressive.
Hahn is really hanging out to try to get around Metcalf here. You saw him hanging off the back of the bike a couple of sections, still not able to make it happen. They're putting a little bit of distance, though, on Brayton, so they are both pushing the envelope.
That section down through there, I could just remember coming down through there in the second moto, and those kickers are starting to form, and you just got to hold the throttle open, and you're riding the rear brake a little bit, trying to control the twitch in the rear end. Uh-oh, Hahn here on the outside. But it's gnarly because you're just wide open, like 4th gear through there, and then you hit that right-hander. It's a pretty intense section.
We saw Villopoto have a couple of intense moments, not only the one where he watched Reed go flying literally off the track. We saw a few little mistakes from Villopoto, but he has straightened it out now and pulled away.
And watch Villopoto here on the progressive hole shot coming from the right side of the box. And look at this. He's got a wheel on Dungey. Alessi's there. A couple of Yamahas, Hahn and Brayton on the outside. But fortunately, everyone makes it at least to the first turn without going down, because in Moto 1, we had 2 guys down before the first turning.
Little mistake there for Villopoto, feet off the pegs. On this type of track, Jeff, is it pretty much a guarantee that you're going to have some off the pegs moments?
Well, at the pace he's running, it's going to happen.
He's definitely on the gas right now. We're pulling away from Dungey early here in Moto number 2. Villopoto looking for a big rebound. So here is Chad Reed, scratching, clawing his way through. He is up to 24th place after one of the most spectacular crashes you'll ever see in a motocross race. I cannot believe he is, I'm not going to say uninjured, but at least feeling healthy enough to be racing through traffic. Jeff?
Yeah, watch what happens. He gets his weight to the right just a little bit right here as he wheelies. Then he hits a square edge bump.
He's 30 feet in the air. Has to be.
So fortunate that he lands on the downside of that grassy hill. Now right here, look, he's trying to keep his feet under him so that he doesn't go head first. He did a great job of that. And those are really scary. And he's so fortunate that he didn't get hurt and that the bike was okay. And he's back up and going, trying to grab championship points. He's up to 22nd, it looks like now. 2 positions away from actually scoring a point.
And we're only halfway through this race. He could really move up, maybe up on the top 10. Now, Jeff, talk about that. You said you've been in that situation before. They called rolling up the windows. We called it out power windows. We were just cranking them. it doesn't always end as fortunate as it does for Chad.
No, definitely not, and especially in the race situation. And like I said, with the bike and all that, he's definitely not riding as aggressive and at the pace that he is capable of. So not sure if he is injured under there or if he's like, okay, I just need to keep my cool right now and try to get some points here. But he's not riding with a lot of energy, like any desperation and urgency right now. But he's still picking up points on guys. He's getting ready to go past Nick Way. Way's 21st. Albers, the 212 last time around, was in 20th, and 20th is when you start scoring points.
Now, do you think Nick Way realizes what happened? In the first moto, Reed lapped up to around 13th place, I think. He doesn't think he's going to lap down, does he? It's a little early in the race.
Yeah,
so
we're 13 minutes plus 2 laps.
So it's too early. These guys are racing Reed right now.
Oh, yeah.
And unbelievable what Reed is able to do. He's about to get into the points right now if he can get my way. And this could be the biggest pass of all, because then it makes picking himself back up after that crash worth it. You got to get in the top 20 to score any points in these motos.
Yeah, well, those guys made some passes last time around. So to finish, Chad was second. This pass on Nick Way is going to give him 19th.
Unbelievable. 2
championship points, and I can tell you, 2 is better than 0, but I'm sure that Chad is going to try to grab more than that. And we're a little past halfway in this moto. This is the part of the moto where a guy like Chad really can excel. Like I said, even though he's not really at the pace that he's capable of. Last time around, his lap time was a 2:14. He turned a 2:09 in the first moto, and track's a little bit quicker, or it has been quicker. So he's just trying to put in a good, safe ride here and grab some valuable championship points. So we'll see how far he can make his way up to here.
Jeff, I can't imagine the feeling that he must have when he approaches that jump every lap again, and you saw him get a little sideways. You almost can't avoid it. It's so rough and then also slippery at the same time. I mean, I'd be afraid to jump that thing again.
Well, yes, but you have to put that fear and the risk and all that stuff out of your mind, and what you do is you say, okay, I'm not taking that line again.
Okay.
Or now he's well aware of where that square edge bump is. Okay, but definitely try to correct that mistake. Also, the second thing is that he's so on point that he's riding so loose and so comfortable that when he hits something like that, he was not ready for it.
We got a battle on our hands here. Kevin Wyndham on the 14 trying to close up on Justin Brayton at his 8th and 9th, and then you see Weimer in 7th, not too far in front of them. So Brayton is the middle of this trio. Weimer just going out of view. Then there goes Brayton, and now Wyndham. And Wyndham admits that the sand tracks are not usually his favorite. He likes tracks where the bike stays in one spot underneath him. And as we saw there with Reed on this track, the bike's going to do some dancing around.
Yeah, Wyndham was 11th in the first moto. Not sure quite what happened there, but he's definitely capable of much better finishes.
Sure. Right
now, running 9th, about a 2:12 lap time. Our leader, Villapoto, has slowed down. He was a 2:08, but Dungey's still at a 2:05. So the race for the lead may tighten up a little bit here as we see Wyndham in 9th.
All right, so you got Villapoto, Dungey, Kennard, 1, 2, 3, Alessi, Metcalf. Then we find this battle. You got Hahn 6th, then Weimer, Brayton, Wyndham. The 3 we're watching right now.
Yeah, and the thing
behind him in 10th.
is 6th. Hahn is 6th, and there's back to short. There's really only about 8 or 10 seconds. So we've got a good group right here. Some fairly evenly matched riders that are pretty tight.
Yeah, 6
all
through
of them
10.
turning about a 2:13, 2:14 lap time.
And here we'll see the gap between Short and Wyndham. There he is. So yeah, they're all within basically the same camera shot. So one little mistake from any of them, and that can change in a hurry. Got to give credit though to Hahn. He's managed to go through a bunch of these riders to get up to that number 6 spot. And
I'm telling you, Hahn has been impressive this summer. You know, he's hit the mat. He's had some hard crashes, but he's always been able to get back up, get himself healthy.
Let's see if Andrew Short can make a run here from 10th, try to make his way toward the top 5. Like we said, 5 riders in front of him are all pretty close. So if they make a mistake, he can take advantage. If he can rally in the last 10 minutes, he might be able to get him. Fans here at Millville help keep these riders motivated. It's tough today in the heat. At the top of our show, we mentioned our Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com keys to the race on the big Swede, Frederick Noren. Who knew that he would actually become part of the championship equation today? Slowing down now, but he was battling Chad Reed for a little while. What does he need to do? Keep going.
Well, I mentioned the first two earlier, but be prepared for the heat. It looked like
maybe not.
The heat up here in Minnesota with the humidity might have got to him, but who it has not gotten to is Ryan Dungey, who is now 1.3 seconds behind Villapoto, and let's see how he got there.
Yeah, Dungey closing the gap. Villapoto makes it a mistake, Jeff.
Watch this. He's trying to get around lapped riders here. Gets way off the side of the track into a bunch of the soft stuff. And Dungey has closed it back up. 1.3 seconds. They're both turning a 2:08.
All right, plenty of time left in this moto. First, check out the countdown clock at the top of the screen. 6 minutes plus 2 laps. So Dungey has time to make a move. Now we have both motos that count here. Look at the event points as they run. If you combine the two motos right now, Villapoto will edge Dungey by 1 point and win the overall for the day. So if Dungey makes the pass on Villapoto, he is your overall winner. If Villapoto holds him off, he is your overall winner. So it's all about this last 5 minutes and 2 laps and who can pass who.
Yeah, and we don't use the simple scoring where a first is a 1 point, a second's a 2 point.
Yep.
Our point system goes 25, then a 3-point gap back to 22, and then 20 for third. So you get that extra little bonus point for winning the moto, and Dungey needs it.
And listen to the crowd come to life as Minnesota's favorite has closed right up to Villapoto. He's going to try to make a move around the outside. Going to jump back down.
Dungey has needed to do something really special. He's been so good and so consistent, but hasn't had that on-fire ride. And this is the place where you come for the rider. You
Look
need,
at this. Woo!
You know, you got to win at your home track.
Well, we talked about it, Jeff, leading into this race. Would the home track advantage give him that little extra burst? You thought it might. It sure looks like it has. But he still has not been able to make the pass. Villapoto is very tough to get around.
Villapoto is spectacular at this racetrack, this time of motos. He knows how to get it done. 3-time 250 motocross champion. Had one of the most impressive second motos that I've ever seen a rider have, ever, in 2007 when he was battling.
Dungey's got an impressive second moto going here as well. He's going to drag race down the inside. Can Villapoto beat him to the spot? He does. Another lap in the books, but it is as close as it could possibly be between the 2 and the 1.
4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Dungey trying to use a little local knowledge here, switching up the lines, giving Villapoto all that he can handle. But you notice Villapoto, in his body language, he's not broken down. He's not, you know, there is no sense of urgency. He's still riding his pace and his race. Very comfortable out front.
Dungey going to try the outside, gets a little sideways. Can he make the move?
Taking the wide line, but what can he do with all that momentum? Dungey all over the place, left, right.
And not able to make it happen. And Dungey has said several times this year, he's got to figure out new lines. He's been stuck behind guys like Reed and Villapoto in a lot of these races. He's definitely trying different lines.
Oh, he's putting out so much effort right now. Here's Dungey around the outside.
Woo! Over the same jump. When they both saw Chad Reed almost end his season, they both step up, clear it, negotiate it together, and head back downhill.
Let's see, Dungey tiptoeing around here. He was really quick. Watch how he cuts to the right over this little single. Not quite as close as the last lap around, but now he's going to try a tighter line. This is great racing right now. The premier class, 2 of the sport's best
Dungey
going
coming
at
down
it.
that hill so hard, Jeff.
Watch this here. He squares him up around the outside, maybe.
And once again, Villapoto beats him to it. It seems like Villapoto, Jeff, knows the section that Dungey's trying to beat him to.
Yeah, but look, Dungey is all over the place trying wide lines, and you would think that he's going to lose a little time, but no, he stays right there on the back wheel. He is really quick right now. He has got the speed on Villapoto, but he just needs to find a passing point.
We have never really seen Ryan Dungey rough anyone up, you know, use the motorcycle or his body to push somebody out of the way. We're in the second half of this championship fight. Dungey needs to make up ground. Is it time for him to get aggressive? Yeah.
Well, he is getting aggressive. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, takes a face full of sand. We drag race through one of the roughest sections of this track again. You mentioned all those big holes through here.
Look at Dungey. He just seems to have a little more momentum in spots.
Oh, this could be it. And once again, Filippoto beats him to the spot. Great move by the number 2.
Let's see what sort of run Dungey can get here through these sand whoops. He's been riding this track and these sand whoops since he was a young boy. Knows to go to the outside right here. Yeah, he's going to funnel right back in. Outside didn't work for him last lap around.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. He's been able to pull right back up on Filippoto, but now time might be on Filippoto's side. He has staved off this attack. Dungey got to him about 5 minutes ago. Here he goes to the inside, and Dungey takes Filippoto down. The crowd goes crazy, and on the other hand, we were wondering if Dungey would attack like that. Unbelievable. This could shake it up. Trey Canard is in third. He's 50 seconds back. Filippoto's got to get the bike started. He does. Now the question is, Jeff, was that racing, or was that the first ever time we've seen Ryan Dungey
that was a really aggressive move, and Dungey was so close so many times. He's seen an opening and went for it. I don't think that they touched. We'll take a look at the replay, and wow.
All right, we'll give you a replay and we return. We've never seen Ryan Dungey attack like this. Side by side, Filippoto goes down. We'll reset it when we return to Millville. Thursday, hitch a ride on an all-new American trucker as Rob gets up close and personal with the most famous and iconic American big rig. It's a Freightliner adventure on an all-new American trucker Thursday at 10 Eastern, only on Speed. Well, Ryan Dungey, we've never seen this type of aggression from him. Jeff, take us through it.
Watch, he sees the opening, carries his momentum around, and Filippoto doesn't get through clean. Now Filippoto tries to pull up out of the way, and watch Filippoto trying to stay away from Dungey's rear tire, and just stuffs the front wheel of his Kawasaki in here. Watch this one more time. Gets a little wide and then hits that soft dirt right there on the side of that hill.
What makes the bike come to a complete stop? Did he just grab front brake to try to avoid running in?
Stuffed it in there, knifed the front tire as he was trying to miss Dungey's rear tire, but it was totally aggressive, no doubt about it. And that move is going to give Dungey the overall if he can keep it on 2 wheels to the finish.
What a run here for Trey Canard in third. First race of the year outdoors, coming off of a broken femur. That is a thigh. That's the biggest bone in the human body. Back now and in third. Solid run in Moto 1. Going to back it up here in Moto 2. Should be good enough for an overall podium. Amazing run. And by the way, it's his first ever race on the 450cc bike outdoors.
Yeah, but it's not his first femur break.
No, did this a couple of years ago in the 250, yeah. So, I don't know how these guys do it. It's the same thing where we saw Reed have that big crash earlier. He's able to, focus past that. You break a femur, Jeff, you know plenty of riders who have had that. It's a tough injury to bounce back from mentally. It's almost like it never happened to this guy.
That's exactly it. When you get injured, the best guys have the ability to just, blank that out like it doesn't exist, and
right.
Just move forward. And it's with little injuries. It'll be for Chad Reed here. It'll be, he's got some visual memories of flying through the air like that.
Right.
But he should have the ability to just put that behind him and act like it never happened and keep racing.
It's unbelievable. He's up to 15th place, so he has passed 25 riders after the crash. And you know that bike is twisted up. He's got to be hurting. So many stories to cover here. Canard, Reed, Filippoto going down, and this man, Ryan Dungey, spurred on by his home state fans. A lot of people saying it was a must-win situation for Dungey. This was his track. This was his opportunity. He took advantage. But guess what's coming up on the calendar 7 days from now? Ryan Filippoto's home track at Washougal in his native Washington State. So maybe a chance for a little payback. Although we don't think Dungey did that on purpose. In fact, after the crash, we saw Dungey look over his shoulder. I think he was surprised that Filippoto had gone down. He was almost wondering where the Kawasaki was.
Well, the point situation for Dungey came in here with 246 and Reed 268, so 22-point gap. Lost 3 points the first moto to Reed. But at this point,
he's going to gain 19 the way it is right now.
Reed's sitting in 14th right now. That gives him 7 points. First is 25.
Oh, Reed's moved up one more, and every point counts. Reed's about 7 seconds behind the next rider in the order, Michael Byrne. I don't know if he's going to have time to get him, but basically you're looking at the end of the day, Filipotto, Dungey, Reed, almost a dead heat, all three at the top of the point standings. When this race is over, we didn't think this championship could get any closer or any more exciting.
Yeah, certainly not the way that Chad Reed rode Moto 1. Grabbed the whole shot, dictated the pace, and Dungey could not do anything with it. Looked like he was pretty frustrated, but positive here on the grid walk for Moto 2. And once again, this makes 4 years in a row that Dungey has won at his home track.
A lot of people wondered, would Ryan Dungey find that extra spark, that extra aggression at his home track? And he did. He's going to win it in front of the home fans at Millville. And an exciting way to do it, too, running down Ryan Filipotto and making an aggressive pass to get the win. And he's making up a whole bunch of points in the series as well. Welcome back to Spring Creek. You are looking at one of the toughest athletes in any sport. We'll show you why. Here's your Lucas Oil race recap, and we'll show you exactly what happened to the number 22, Chad Reed. Happened early in this one.
Watch this here. Reed hits a kicker, flies through the air while leading the race.
And gets up and finishes 14th. We thought it was all over. Maybe the season, maybe everything. Good 30 feet there, and here he is about a minute later. Did not even go a lap down. Got back in the race. Past 26 riders. Meanwhile, Ryan Dungey runs down Ryan Filipotto late and executes this pass, not only to take the lead, but it caused Filipotto to go down. Don't think that was Dungey's intention, but it was enough to prevent Filipotto from fighting back, Jeff.
Yeah, watch Filipotto stays wide and he stuffs it in some soft dirt and goes down, and that would give up the overall.
So Ryan Dungey wins Moto 2, hit a second in Moto 1. Reed won that one, but was not a factor to win this one. Meanwhile, we've got Aaron Bates, who has caught up to a very sore and very lucky Chad Reed. Aaron?
Very lucky indeed, Chad. A spectacular crash. You had a long time to roll up the windows out there. What went on from your perspective?
I didn't even know. I was actually excited that I made a pass on Ryan. I was aggressive right away, and next minute I know the handlebars just got ripped out of my hands, and I was winding up the windows. That was the scariest crash I've ever had, and man, I hit my head pretty hard and felt like I was going to throw up at any time in the moto. So just any points helps. I didn't even know where I finished, and tough day, but you know, championships are won on your bad days.
A true warrior today, Chad Reed.
Unbelievable. Every point's going to count now. When we show you the standings later on, you'll see why it is so close between these two, or these three now that Dungey has actually rebounded. Incredible. Lots of drama today at Millville. We'll talk to our podium finishers when we return and try to sort this all out. Well, so much to discuss here at Millville. Let's talk to someone who has a first-hand perspective. Let's go down to Aaron, who has our winner, Ryan Dungey.
Well, some people might consider it home track advantage. Ryan, you've had so many laps on this, but so deserving today. Take us through that ride, and also take us through the pass that you made on Ryan Filipotto.
Well, I got off to a pretty good start, right? I think I was third. Was able to move my way into second, and Filipotto started to open up a little bit of a gap, but you know, I knew it was a hot day. I knew it was going to be a tough one, a lengthy race, and it ended up being that, you know, he maybe got caught up in some areas, but was able to make the pass coming out of that sand wash area, the last corner, and it feels good, man. It feels good to win in front of the hometown crowd, but really special to have everybody here. You know, they root. It takes a lot of people to make this happen, and I'm so glad we can all celebrate it together.
4 years in a row you've pulled this off here, 2 in the 250 class, now 2 in the 450 class. You've got over 45 family and friends here, but this entire place was chanting on their feet for you. Did that give you the extra energy that you needed to pull this off today?
For sure. You know, to have that behind me is an added bonus, and you know, my whole family really, but absolutely. You know, to be able to grow up here with my family, and I've seen all the hard times. I know what it's like, and I'll never forget it. And it's all that much better when we can celebrate and be up here. And I just want to say thanks to them. Thanks to the man above. He makes it all happen. You know, and my mom and dad, everybody, and family, brothers, Lindsay, and the whole crew, Team Rockstar, Makita Suzuki, and Dunlop, Showa, all you guys. Thank you.
All right. He has won 4 straight at this track, but none of them were as dramatic as this one. Villopoto picks himself up, holds off Kennard to finish second. A solid day for Mike Alessi, finishes fourth. Brett Metcalf fifth. Weimer, Brayton, Hahn, Short, Wyndham. We mentioned that was a great battle back there outside the top 5, and that's the way it broke down. Wow. Just unbelievable if the second half of the year is going to be like this week to week. It's going to be crazy headed down to the finale at Pala. Let's send it back down to Aaron.
A tough day for Ryan Villopoto. Ryan, just when you were making the pass happen, something went drastically wrong. Take us through what happened from your perspective, because Ryan said that you guys actually didn't touch.
Yeah, no, it was, I mean, from the start I had a great start. Dunlop tires just hooked up really good off the line. You know, rode awesome, I think, the first half of the moto, and then I got caught up with some lappers, and man, you know, it's hot, track's rough, so wore on me a little bit, but he got beside me in the whoops, and we came out of the turn, I got on it, and then I was on it just a little too long because he had a little more momentum when we came in the turn, and we didn't hit, but I couldn't turn down because he was there, and then my front wheel was in the powder, so couldn't save it.
All right, we'll show you the overall results. That pass did change everything. Villopoto would have won the overall if he had not been passed. Dungey gets him, and Chad Reed there salvages 5th overall with that 14th, and will also salvage some valuable points. And how about Trey Kennard? First race back, is on the podium.
Pretty impressive. I'll tell you what's impressive is Dungey's got 4 in a row, 2 on the 250, 2 in the 450. The greatest of all time, Carmichael. 8 in a row in the 450 class, 2 in the 250 class, but there was 1 year that he didn't win. So Dungey on his way, though. 4 in a row. He's trying to match the greatest of all time.
Apply Carmichael standards, that's tough. Let's send it back down to Aaron Bates on the podium. Aaron?
Trey Kennard making his debut in the 450, and not only did you make your debut, but you show up here and you make it on the podium. What does this moment mean to you, Trey?
I'm super happy. You know, it was a great race for me. You know, it's kind of a bummer those guys, you know, they beat me pretty good, but you know, I can't be too bummed on myself. I've only been on the bike so long, and man, I just got to give it up to Lord Jesus Christ. You know, that's the reason I'm here, and whole Honda, Geico, and Rinthal. Alpine Stars, Fly, Liat Brace, Scott Goggles, DC, Fenton Motors, everyone, thank you so much.
All right, great start to your 450 outdoor career.
Well, folks, now that you know how dramatic this championship chase is going to be, you do not want to miss any of the upcoming rounds in our Toyota moving forward schedule. We'll be at Washougal next weekend with live coverage on speed. Take a few weeks off. We'll go to Unadilla, and then we'll roll through the rest of the Northeast. We'll be in Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. Look at how close it is now. Reed barely escapes with the points lead. Villopoto and Dungey are right there. This is going to be wild through the final 5 rounds of this championship. We've never seen a 450 class title fight shape up like this. These fans at Millville are never going to forget this day. Not only did their home track favorite win, but he did it in dramatic fashion. Chad Reed survived a wild crash to come back and race another day. You can't ask for more excitement than that. For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.